Viewers, the big story that we are tracking for you is what's happening in the India's aviation sector. If you're an air traveler, if you have been at the airport, the big major airports across India over the last 3 days, you will know what we are talking about. The inconvenience to the passengers that we are witnessing for third day in a row. Viewers, it's third consecutive day, a nightmare for air travelers. IndiGo flights are being cancelled, causing major inconvenience to passengers across the country. Let's first take you through the problems that the passengers are facing. Let's tell you about the kind of issues that passengers are facing right now because of flights that are getting cancelled almost on a daily basis. We'll come to this one in just a bit, but firstly, let's show you about the problems that the passengers are facing, and then we'll tell you about the skyrocketing ticket prices. The problems that passengers, viewers, are facing right now include that the airline is not giving proper information to the air travelers. Passengers are still being allowed to book flights even as the flights in fact are getting cancelled. Let's get you that graphic on the screen which has the problems, in fact, the problems that the passengers are facing right now, which is very, very significant because here on Times Now we have been speaking with passengers from different parts of the country, and they've been narrating to us their ordeal, and this is what they have told us. Passengers are being allowed to book flights despite crew shortage. Remember, it's a new crew norm, new FDTL rule that is leading to this kind of crisis at the airports, long queues. But despite that information with the airline, despite shortage of crew and pilots, the flights are being booked. No prior information is being given to the passengers as well. At the same time, passengers are stranded at airports for 8 to 10 hours. So flights have been cancelled. Passengers are stranded. There is complete mess at major airports. Passengers are made to sit in planes without information, then told to, come out of the aircraft only to know later that their flight has been cancelled. As a result, some people, of course, can come back to their homes because their flight has been cancelled, but others who have an emergency, who have to travel to the other destination, they have to deal with skyrocketing prices of alternate flights. Let's now tell you how steep the prices are right now because of this mess that we are witnessing involving IndiGo. Now, if you look at Delhi-Mumbai flight, if your flight has been cancelled and you're looking for an alternate, to actually go to Mumbai from Delhi, then say, for example, an IndiGo 7 p.m. flight is going to cost you 24,669 rupees. Another option is something like Air India at 5:30 p.m., 29,280 rupees for one ticket. Usually, the ticket prices are, in this sector around 4,000 to 5,000 rupees. Just see how bad the situation is right now. Look at Delhi-Hyderabad route. 6 p.m. IndiGo flight is going to cost you 32,897. So if you're in Delhi right now, your flight to Hyderabad has been cancelled, but you have to reach Hyderabad somehow because of some emergency, because of some commitment, then be prepared to shell out at least 16,000 rupees because that's the cheapest fare right now. Air India is going to cost you much more. Delhi-Bengaluru sector, another sector with a lot of flight options available, but just look at how, high the prices are. 7 p.m. IndiGo flight is going to cost you 42,739 for one ticket. Akasa Air, another option at 10:55. 39,050. Cheapest flight today, if you want to fly to Bengaluru from Delhi, is going to cost you at least 22,000 rupees. So if your flight from Delhi has been cancelled, you have no option. You can't go back home. There is a wedding that you need to attend or perhaps some important engagement in Bengaluru. Then be prepared to shell out this kind of money. So this is the impact, viewers, of the crisis that we are seeing across major airports in the country. Joining us on the broadcast right now are my colleagues who are in fact tracking the developments very, very closely. We have Priyank Tripathi live with us from the national capital, Imran live with us from Bengaluru as well. Priyank, to you first. You've been speaking with passengers at Delhi airport. Tell us how bad the situation really is right now. What have they told you? And what kind of information is being given from the airline side to passengers to minimize the inconvenience?
The passengers are certainly facing issues. Certainly, the international passengers are the ones who are facing the maximum run because they have to book the flight. In fact, one of the UK passengers has to pay 500 pounds for booking her flight from here, India to UK, because they were expecting that the IndiGo flight would be cancelled. There have been 70 flights which were operating from the national capital, international and domestic, which has been cancelled by the IndiGo airline. But just a short while back, the meeting with the DGCA officials have concluded at the Udan Bhavan here in the national capital, where the IndiGo officials have given their explanation regarding the kind of delay which has been causing. But as you rightly stated, the FDTL norms is certainly which could have been implemented by the IndiGo Airlines, and they should have been much prepared for that, which did not happen, which is leading to this kind of chaotic situation with the IndiGo Airlines, where the data has been showing that there have been more than 1,000 flights which have been cancelled or delayed in the last 1.5 months. So this was certainly meant to happen because IndiGo was not taking the FDTL norms very seriously, where the pilots are supposed to fly only 8 hours a day. They were told to fly for more than that. Now they have put their foot down and they are not operating more than that particular working hours. So that is the issue because of which all these situations have been created. The weather is okay, but the IndiGo officials had given explanation that probably because of the weather condition, the flight operations are getting delayed. But that is not there seen with Air India and other airlines, which has been operating at their right time. So the internal policy and the internal mechanism of IndiGo is certainly something which has hit the airline operation badly. That too with an airline which holds more than 60% of the market share with Indian air operations are concerned.
Right.
So the meeting has concluded. Let's see something concrete would have come out. But so far, we have not got to know that what has been the outcome of the meeting, which has just now concluded with the DGC officials, with the officials of the IndiGo airline.
Important update. Priyank is bringing to us the meeting that was called by DGCA has concluded. We'll wait for an official word from the government as to what really happened in the meeting and what is it that the government is going to do to end this crisis, the mess that the passengers are facing right now. Priyank as well as Imran, requesting both of you to please stay on with us. Let's also tell our viewers a little bit about the reasons behind the problems that the passengers are facing today. Now, viewers, the one big reason is the implementation of new flight duty norms. Now, what are these new flight duty norms? These new flight duty norms are basically for the pilots and the crew members. And according to these norms, 48 hours of weekly rest is important for pilots as compared to 36 hours of weekly rest that was there earlier. As per new rules, maximum 2 night landings are allowed instead of 6 night landings that were allowed earlier. Not more than 2 consecutive night duties can be there for pilots is another important rule that has kicked in. Night has been defined as midnight to 6 a.m. as compared to midnight to 5 a.m. earlier. So entire roster making process has undergone a lot of change. Airlines say they are still trying to adjust with these new norms. They do not have enough pilots, enough crew members to ensure all of these new rules are properly implemented and adhered to. Quarterly fatigue reporting is also something that the airlines have been asked to do. Now, IndiGo on a daily basis operates around 23 to 2,700 flights, and it does not have enough pilots and crew members, and that's the reason why implementation of these new rules, which are much more relaxed for the pilots and crew members, is not happening properly. Let me now go across to my colleague Imran as well, who is live with us from Bengaluru. Imran, we know that the situation is quite bad in Bengaluru as well. Tell us a little bit about what you have learned from the passengers that you spoke with at Bengaluru airport. How is the airline really trying to handle this entire mess?
Well, yes, there's been nightmares for passengers there. In fact, many of the flights were cancelled. What we're getting to know, up to 70 flights were cancelled from Bengaluru airport, both domestic and international. And that has caused much distress among passengers who had very important assignments to go. In fact, we saw unruly scenes there at the domestic international airport there, especially at Terminal 1, where passengers vented out their anger against IndiGo staff, saying that they have been whole night, they've been waiting, there have been continuous delay of the flights. No one was there to address their concerns, and there's such a huge delay that the aviation security had to be called in to control the crowd there. Now the airlines has put out a statement saying that due to staff shortage and also about due to technical issues, there was not much operations were grounded, hence they're regretting inconvenience caused to passengers. And also the airport's authority officials informed that there were many passengers who didn't, because of the huge influx of passengers who were stranded. Some of them, they couldn't provide the chairs, they had to sit on the ground floor. So that was such a situation there at the airport because of the cancellation of the IndiGo flights now. Now the airport officials say that they are trying to help the passengers along with the IndiGo's staff to address their concern. As of right now, they say much of the issues have been sorted is what they're saying, but we have to wait and see. This has been happening for the past 2 days now, for the past 3 days, I beg your pardon, that the flights are getting cancelled, and the IndiGo officials have also said due to weather conditions and also technical issues and staff shortage, this compilation of all this led to the delays in flights, and more than 17 flights being cancelled and being diverted. That has created a huge chaos, not just in Bengaluru, but across India.
Right. Imran, stay on with us. We have some breaking inputs coming in at this point in time from the national capital. We are getting to know officials have started arriving at Ministry of Civil Aviation in the national capital. There are representatives from Air India, IndiGo and other key stakeholders who have started arriving at Ministry of Civil Aviation for a crucial meeting that's going to be chaired by Union Civil Aviation Minister. Let me go across to my colleague Shefali joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Shefali, so first there was a meeting with DGC officials. Now a meeting is going to be chaired by, in fact, Civil Aviation Minister. Okay, we'll go across to her in just a bit.